Alright, this is another response video, and the lucky guy of today is Titus. Titus. In Dutch we say Titus, which is a rather funny name. Anyway, this comment comes from a Stefan Molyneux video. You probably know that video. It's called, what pisses me off about people who tell you not to have children. Yeah, you probably know that one. Now I'm not going to read the comment to you, I'm going to let a voice reader do it for me, because, well, it saves me some voice energy. And it makes a better distinction between me and the counter-arguer, which is Titus. Anyway, let's start.
Who know, for once I agree with Stefan. Life can be beautiful and the antinatalism talk is just another word for personal misery.
Well, you couldn't be more wrong. Antinatalism is everything but a personal theory. It focuses on the fact that misery is a potential possibility to be experienced by anyone who comes into existence. Life can be beautiful, but it can also be pure misery. And the difference between you and antinatalism is that you don't give a fuck about the ones that have to go through pure misery. And antinatalism wants to prevent people from having to experience pure misery. Alright, if antinatalism is just another word for personal misery, then pronatalism is just another word for personal awesomeness, fuck everyone else. Yeah, that's what pronatalism stands for. I like my life, most people like life, but fuck everyone else who don't like to live, aka suicidal people. And fuck everyone else who remain outside of our capability to help them or to reduce their suffering. That's basically what you're saying. Fuck everybody that cannot be helped. They can drown in their personal misery. Fuck them. Because life is beautiful for most people.
I want to have kids one day. Why? Because I am happy that my parents gave me life and I want to pass that joy on.
So again, you are happy. You are happy. It's all about you. You are happy, therefore everyone else is happy. Life is a joyful ride for you, therefore life is a joyful ride for everybody. That's your justification, and it's a subjective justification, not an objective justification. You haven't provided any logical argument for why you want to have kids. Give me the reason why it would be perfectly logical to justify a subjective need. To say that you're happy that you are alive and that you want to pass that joy on to your children is just so subjective. Because your reasoning is based on your own personal feelings. And that's not how logic works. You have to consider the fact that you are not giving birth to your own feelings but to other feelings that you are not in control of. And the only thing you can do is hope that your kids will mostly have positive feelings in their life. But hope is irrational, and you can't use hope as a rational justification. Hope implies risk, and certainty implies no risk. So are you going to take risks with someone else's feelings? Do you even know what taking risks implies? It implies very, very bad stuff. Stuff that you'd never want to wish on your children.
Nothing more to it than that. And as for the we all die argument, every movie starts and eventually ends, but we all have lots of fond memories of certain stills in between and we do not regret watching the whole movie, right?
Okay, so it seems like you don't really understand what antinatalism is about. Antinatalism is about not giving birth to a new being, which means that your hypothetical child that you want to bring into existence will remain non-existent. And that's what the logic of antinatalism is based on. It's based on the non-existing state prior to birth. Okay, so if you don't exist, There is no desire to watch the movie in the first place. And you certainly will not regret the fact that you missed out on that movie. Now, maybe you don't regret watching the whole movie of life, but I certainly regret the fact that millions of beings were tortured during that movie. And they weren't even actors. They were real, unfortunate victims who didn't choose to participate with this so-called movie.
Choose joy and affirmation of life, not misery.
So what are you saying now? That anti-nihilists are choosing misery? Well, that's a bit ironic. Again, anti-nihilism is about non-existence. And misery does not exist within non-existence, obviously. There is only one thing in which misery can exist. Can you guess it? Oh yeah, it's life. Life is the only thing in which misery can exist, of course. So if you choose life, you choose misery as well. You can't have joy without misery. That's the duality of life. If you don't want misery, then you must also abandon joy. Anyway, this Titus comment can even be considered as a slightly interesting counter-argument because it's so subjective. It all has to do with selfish personal feelings. And that's the problem with this world. 99% of all the brains on this planet are rationalizing their own subjective feelings to justify whatever they want. And that's precisely the reason why there exists all this shit in the world. Subjectivity is the problem. The fact that everybody is different, that creates problems. Very serious problems. Whereas objectivity means that nobody is different. No difference between anything. Absolute equality. If everything is literally the same without differences, no problems would ever arise, because there can't exist any friction between anything. Now, what does a place with no differences look like? It looks like nothing. It looks like death. It looks like the same thing before you were born. And that's the only thing that is morally justifiable from an objective point of view. But again, whatever. Life has allowed subjectivity. It contains so much subjectivity that objectivity just has no chance of being communicated to the world. It will be refuted in all possible ways. Instead, we will have to deal with endless subjectivity until some unfortunate event will obliterate the entirety of planet Earth. And that's going to be it. That's going to be our little human story in the universe. A couple of million years of fighting and having sex with each other until something in our solar system decides that we should go to hell. Now that's something to look forward to. Yay! Anyway, that's it. See you